Every morning, the sun breaks the horizon at a calculable millisecond. The ocean pushes and pulls its tides in a relentless mathematical rhythm. Inside your chest, your heart will contract and expand over 100,000 times today without any conscious effort. Looking at the precision of these events, you have to ask, is this a random sequence? Are we drifting through a massive, chaotic coincidence of physics? For centuries, the default assumption was the opposite. We imagined an active, sky-dwelling manager looking down, an entity deciding when a single leaf drops from a branch, or steering the daily affairs of billions of people. But observable reality doesn't reflect a universe run by moment-to-moment decisions. Instead, we see rigid, predictable systems that function on their own. If reality isn't a string of random accidents, and it isn't being manually steered by an active puppet master, what mechanism is actually pulling the levers? Our misunderstanding comes from a simple error in perspective. We've spent centuries looking for a person in control, looking past the self-sustained systems sitting right in front of us. Nature operates on a hidden architecture, a structural code embedded in plain sight. We see it clearly in how a single tree branch pushes outward, growing and splitting to form complex offshoots. These branching vectors follow fractal logic. This geometry repeats with mathematical precision across different biological scales, appearing in the veins carrying blood through your body. The scale expands even further. The microscopic structures inside us map directly onto the golden ratio spirals of entire galaxies. It is a rare piece of common ground. Empirical science identifies these structures as mathematical constants, while spiritual traditions describe them as divine design. Both look at the same data and recognize a consistent underlying geometry. The persistence of these forms across every level of reality reveals that the universe operates as a structured framework rather than a chaotic void. This framework has operational parameters. The first is the requirement of dualistic balance. The system requires opposing forces, day and night, heat and cold, and the contrast between human joy and pain. The second parameter is relentless forward motion. Think of the mechanics of a river. The water remains clean and clear because it is constantly moving. If you block that water and trap it in a stagnant pool, it begins to rot. It is a universal physical law. When motion stops, decay takes over. This law maps directly onto human psychology. When a person stops learning and adapting, their mind loses its sharpness. The internal stagnation causes the intellect to weaken. In this system, growth is a conditional output. It is dependent on your ability to maintain forward momentum. This brings us back to how the world runs. Instead of imagining a deity pulling individual strings, consider the role of a systems programmer. A programmer writes foundational rules, translating logic into equations for gravity and time. The most vital subroutine is the law of cause and effect, where specific inputs guarantee specific outputs. A seed generates a tree. Consume poison, output sickness. Harbor fear, output compromised decision-making. Once these parameters are set, the engine runs itself. The equations do the work, allowing the entire system to function without needing active daily intervention. Divine power is found in the foresight required to write a self-sustaining code, one governing every outcome perfectly from the start, and never requiring an update. Accessing this truth doesn't require translating ancient texts or following a specific dogma. The direct way to study the programmer's intent is through unfiltered observation of the physical world. Nature operates without deception. The instructions are hard-coded into the environment. The sun models consistency. The slow growth of a tree demonstrates the necessity of patience, and the system provides a deadline. Death is the mechanism designed to define the scarcity of time. Without a finite end, your actions would carry no weight. To perceive these background systems, you have to quiet your own mind. You have to stop moving long enough to observe the machinery at work. When you do, you recognize the scope of the architecture. The same energy and structural code governing the farthest galaxies is currently executing within your own heartbeat and mind.